Oh, is it a Wrangler? Is it a Wrangler? Is it a Gladiator? Guys, welcome back to another episode of Let's Roll Out. My name is Elton Felix, and today is really exciting for me because we get to do something which we have never done. We're doing our first truck, but we didn't want to do just any truck. This vehicle is meant to set itself apart, and I hope that you are unique like me. I don't want to drive what everyone has. This Gladiator is meant to take sport to a whole new level, and I thank you for coming. Guys, my name is Elton Felix. It is the 2020 Gladiator. Let's take a look at it. Today's show has been made possible by the great folks over at Scarsview Chrysler. They're located at 951 Milner Avenue in Scarborough. You can reach them at 416-902-0577 and let them know you've seen your Gladiator on Let's Roll Out. Now, Jeep has been toying with this idea for some time now, and I'm so glad that it's here now. You have the familiarity from what you know of from its sibling in the Wrangler, but this vehicle sits on a completely new frame. It carries over some of the suspension components in the front, but in the back, they've given you a multi-link setup to make the ride so much better. In our day and age, you have to compete in a segment that is very hot, and it's going up against the likes of the Honda Ridgeline, the Toyota Tacoma, the Ford Ranger Raptor, to name a few vehicles. But this Gladiator has so much cool factor as far as I'm concerned. You can get into the Gladiator starting at $45,495. Now that in itself, I think it's pretty cool. But let me tell you what you are able to do with this truck. You're able to tow up to 7,650 pounds with this vehicle. In the back, you can now load up to 1,600 pounds. In the front, we have that familiar 3.6-liter V6 that puts out 285 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. You have the availability of locking differentials in the front and in the back. This is meant to be an off-road king, and that's what it's good at. Take off all the doors, take off all the panels. You can have even a convertible top that you can open and close depending on the situation. This vehicle is just so cool to me. You have a Wrangler and now you've got the Gladiator. If you want your vehicle done from the factory, I would say go for the Rubicon. It gives you the bigger wheels and it just has so much strength to it. The Jeep Gladiator is simply fantastic as far as I'm concerned. You can't beat this thing. It is so cool. Now, let's step inside. Let's see what inside is all about. The Jeep Gladiator is 138 inches long in its wheelbase. Now, that is 19 inches longer than the Wrangler. So what that does, it allows us to have a tremendous amount of space here in the cabin. But they not only give you space, they also give you a lot of practicality as well. Under the seats, there is storage. You can also fold the seats down to give you more carrying space. There's also a portable speaker as well. So the fun factor is always kept close to their minds. Me, I'm 6'2", and the vehicle's a little bit high, but getting in is quite easy. The space is very good. So you can carry your friends and have your fun and have the comfort as well. Let's step into the front to see what that's like. You know, one thing that comes to mind when I step into this Jeep Gladiator, it reminds me of when I was a little kid. My dad used to drive a Defender, and looking out the front is what comes back to mind. It's funny how memories register, doesn't it? On the doors, they've given you only the controls for the heated mirrors on the outside and for locking and unlocking your door. The handles for opening, they've given it a chrome finish to it to add some contrast, but that's to the extent of the door. There is a little net there if you want to hold some of your things, but other than that, it's pretty simple. You've got a steering wheel that is big enough and it opens to that instrument cluster down at the bottom. When you fire that 3.6 liter motor over, it gives you a nice graphic on the inside. You've got the tachometer to the left and the speedo to the right. The speedo tells us that we can go up to 200 kilometers an hour. I don't know if I would ever do that, but it says it. You can give it a try though. In the center, this Defender is equipped with the 7-inch screen. Now, the 7-inch screen gives you the opportunity to have touch functionality. You can also get that in the 8.4 as well. Now, one of the things I like about the controls here for the infotainment is that it has a nice rubber cover to it. It is tactile and it gives you instant grip every single time. It does have the same controls for your heating as well, for your climate control. Just below that, they've equipped for the power windows. Now, once again, because this vehicle can remove all of its doors, it makes more sense to have them here in the center. This reminds me of my BMW E34 5 Series, which was right behind the gear shifter for your power windows. I like the vents though. They're very sturdy and strong and so easy to manipulate. And as you work your way across, you get to the glove compartment. Now, the glove compartment it's small, it's square. Again, it's a Jeep. But what I look at is what I call the holy shit bar that's located just above that. I don't know why, but that's the thought that comes to mind. But I'm sure it's there because of the off-road capability of this car that gives you something to hold on to as you rock to and fro, as you explore the outdoors. This vehicle is equipped with the ZF-sourced 8-speed automatic. Of course, you can get a 6-speed manual as well as the base model. It does have the transfer case in which you can choose for your driving. You can either have 2 high, 4 high, or 4 low. Under the armrest, there's some storage there if you want to just put your wallet, and just below that, there's a humongous storage area that also carries a charging port for when you want to charge your devices. The seats themselves are pretty cool, and this one is manually controlled. Now, even though it's manually controlled, you do have lumbar support that, depending on you, the person, you can adjust it quite nicely. You can remove all of these panels, and it's done so easily by just flipping and opening them right here. This comes off. No other truck is able to do it like the Gladiator can, except its sibling, the Wrangler. What is this Gladiator like to drive? Shall we go see? Thanks for coming, guys. The 2020 Jeep Gladiator. Now that we're driving out onto these smooth roads, the ride is definitely pretty good for a truck. Now you can see where that use of the multi-link setup in the back comes to play, and it gives you a very comfortable ride. Getting up now to about 60 kilometers an hour, you start to get some wind noise coming back into the cabin. Now, it's expected because the panels are removable on this car, so you don't expect to have perfect quietness in here. The 8-speed automatic is really smooth, and the steering wheel is soft. The driving position gives you great visibility, and even though they are very thick C-pillars and stuff all around, you're able to see out the vehicle quite nicely. The mirrors on the outside are small, but if you're considering towing a boat or so, most likely you'll need extensions fitted to the vehicle. We're in 4-wheel high mode right now, and it doesn't change the character or how the vehicle drives at all. It's still very smooth. The 8-speed automatic seems to shift when you need it, and it goes back up the gears to increase your fuel economy. This 3.6 will return 10.7 liters for every 100K on the highway and 13.7 in the city. It's not meant to be the best for fuel economy, but it's still okay. If you're buying this vehicle, simply not because of that. You're buying it for the style, the look, the capability, the towing capability as well. The 0 to 100 kilometer on this vehicle is rated at 7.5 seconds. Now as you start to accelerate, The pull is pretty strong actually. Oh, we're already up to speed. Not bad. But now that we're here, the noise level has definitely increased quite a bit. Are you able to hold a conversation? I think so. They've given you enough padding inside that you're still able to talk. You'll definitely have to raise your voice a little bit, but it's not bad. Not bad. Now, my name is Elton Felix, and I want to thank you for joining me today for this, the Gladiator. Now, if you'd like to see us do more trucks in the future, please leave it in the comment section below. If you enjoyed our show, do remember to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up as well. Thanks for your time.